Do you wish you could live even after death? It sounds impossible, but these animals do exactly that. Welcome back. KnowledgeWorks here. Here you're about to see some animals that are literally immortal. They can live without body parts, come back to life, and even live after death. First, we have to look at alligators. Alligators live in water. But how do they survive in the winter when water freezes? Well, at just the right moment, when the water's about to freeze, they stick their snouts out into the air. The alligators are then literally frozen in time. They're basically dead. But this is actually a process called brunation. It's similar to hibernation, but for reptiles instead of mammals. The alligators are frozen solid birds. When the temperature heats up, these frozen alligators come back to life. These alligators are sometimes frozen like this for many days, weeks, or even months. But because they put their noses out of the lake, they survive all this time. So next time you're ice skating, make sure not to wake up any alligators from brumation. They may be frozen, but they're still deadly. Next, we have to look at chickens. You may have heard the phrase running around like a headless chicken. Well, that's not just a turn of phrase. It's reality. Chickens can actually live without their hands, sometimes for a surprisingly long time. The record for the longest living headless chicken is 18 months. The record was set by a chicken named Mike in Colorado, USA. But how do chickens live without hens? Well, chickens don't need a head to live. Their central nervous system is very different from us humans. So if you chop the top part of a chicken's head off, it will only remove some of the brain. The rest of the brain, which is used for movement, will still be okay. And that's how they're able to run around and live without a head. Moving along, we have to look at salamanders. Salamanders are amazing because they can regenerate body parts. If you chop off your finger, it won't grow back. But if a salamander loses a finger, it will grow back in no time. Furthermore, if you chop some of their heart or spinal cord, it will regenerate. And amazingly, if its leg is bitten off by a predator, that will also grow back. Because of this, many say salamanders are immortal to regrown. Parts of salamanders can actually function even better than the original parts, meaning that what doesn't kill them literally does make them stronger. To make things even more amazing, some of their regeneration proteins are actually found in humans, meaning that maybe one day we could also regenerate our fingers or limbs. Salamanders could be the key to human regeneration. Next, we have to look at snakes. Snakes are scary on their own. But did you know there are some snakes that can kill you even with their head chopped off? Some people get scared when they see a venomous snake. They believe chopping its head off will neutralize the snake. But they couldn't be more wrong. A snake's head contains its fangs and deadly poison sacs. Its brain doesn't need its body to bite you, meaning that you could be bitten by a headless, venomous snake. Snakes can live with their heads chopped off for hours, so be very careful of these zombie snakes. Next, we have to look at flies. Have you ever seen the magic trick where magicians bring dead flies back to life? Well, you see, the flies in these magic tricks aren't dead birds frozen? When slides are frozen, they go into a state of suspended animation. They're sort of alive and sort of dead. The heat from the magician's hands then warms the fly up, making it seem like this dead fly comes back to life. But that's not the only reason why flies can live after death. Female flies can live without a head for several days. They can also walk and fly without a hand, and amazingly, beheaded female flies can even mate. That's right. They don't even need a head to get busy and make some babies. I guess that's a good thing if they have to mate with a really ugly fly. Next, let's look at cockroaches. Cockroaches are known as indestructible creatures. They can literally survive a nuclear bomb, and they can also live without their heads. They can do this for days and even weeks. They also don't bleed. That's because all of their wounds naturally close up. But how do cockroaches breathe without a hand? You see, they have small holes on their body called spiracles, allowing them to go on living for a very long time. Next, we have to look at octopus. Sometimes when an octopus has been killed and cooked, it will still move, sometimes even on your plate. But how do they do this? It's because their nervous system is unique. 2/3 of their nerve cells are in the tentacles, which is why they're responsive to stimuli, even without a brain. Moving on. I have to show you the ocean quahog. The ocean clay hog is an amazing species of clam. It can be found in the northern Atlantic Ocean. The amazing thing about these animals is they're basically immortal. A few years back, researchers in Iceland killed one of these, and when they studied it, they realized it was 507 years old. They can live so long because of their unique cell membranes. Unlike most animals, ocean quahog cell membranes don't deteriorate over time, allowing them to live for hundreds of years. Now we have to look at frogs. Did you know you can remove a frog brain and it will still move? Scientists have found frogs without brains can act like normal frogs. They can still walk, turn in different directions, and even swim. Next, let's look at flatworms. Many believe that if you cut an earthworm in two, it will make two worms. That's not true for earthworms, but it is true for flatworms. If you cut a flatworm into the head, portion will grow a tail, and the tail portion will grow a head. You can actually keep on doing this indefinitely. Scientists make 20,000 flatworms out of just one, making a massive army of zombie flatworms. Finally, we have to look at scorpions. Humans can survive without eating for about 1 month. But if a scorpion eats one insect, it can survive for a whole year. Scorpions can live in very hot conditions, but they can also survive in cold ones too. Sometimes scorpions can freeze and then survive after being frozen, which is why scorpions are called masters of adaptation. Now it's time for you to make your voice heard comments below. Which of these immortal animals was the most amazing? Thanks for watching. Leave it like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, then what are you waiting for? Subscribe to KnowledgeWorks.